Hello, Harmony Central. Welcome from day 2 of the Summer NAMM Show 2010. We are standing outside the Ryman Auditorium, and it was another pretty interesting day. One thing we noticed coming to Nashville is that they're still not over the flood. You walk into restaurants and they don't have air conditioning. You can still smell the water. They have drainage problems. So they're still not quite over it. And I'm a little hoarse today, but I'll try to get through my bit. I am joined by Craig Anderton, Editor-in-Chief of Harmony Central, and our special guest Paul White, who is Editor-in-Chief from Sound on Sound across the pond. Welcome, Paul.
Hi.
Hi, Craig.
Hello, John.
Right.
You have your show voice on.
I have my show voice on. All right. So I'm going to do my guitar thing, and then I'm going to let Craig and Paul do their back and forth about the tech stuff. So here's what we saw on day 2. Martin, whom I talked a bit about yesterday, has done something quite noble for the helping out with the flood. They've donated 300 cases because all these ruined guitars in Nashville have to be recased and sent out for repair. So they're contributing in the effort. They also had a lovely 00015, an all mahogany guitar that's just a great blues guitar. So even something as straightforward as an all mahogany guitar continues to elicit surprises. That was nice. Yamaha has a new set of speakers called DSR loudspeakers. They're powered speakers, and they have DSP on board and does some interesting things there. Their acoustic line now has a pickup system called SRT. Sorry for all the acronyms, but you can go and check it out for sound, record, technology. But a whole new pickup system in their guitars. Orange Amps came out with a couple new models. Everybody knows the Tiny Terror. They now have a 2-channel version, so that has 4 EL34 tubes in it. That was nice. Reverend Guitars, which always makes wonderful sort of retro guitars, has a Rick Vito guitar that is just absolutely outstanding. A lovely sort of retro kind of Art Deco look to it, and that's a signature model. We got over to the Heil sound booth and talked to the ever-entertaining Bob Heil, who had a new version of his classic PR30 microphone in a short casing that he's very proud of, and you'll see that soon. And I saw some weird stuff, hand guitars, which are made with sort of a polyvinyl chloride, some synthetic sort of top, but yet made out of sustainable Indonesian coconuts. I'm not making this up. And they were just lovely. You just had to see them to believe them. So that's hand guitars. Look for them on the web. And there are lots of pedals. There was Pigtronics had a good booth. That's pretty cool to see the Pigtronics folks. And Mad Professor has a new bass auto wah and a combo version of their storied hand point-to-point amp. And some more in the collapsible travel guitars. Acoustar is an acoustic guitar that has a foldable neck, and then Voyager, which came out with their acoustic guitar with the collapsible neck, now has a solid body version. And I played it, and it's convincing, and you can't tell where the seam is, and it was effortless. I have down here Holloway. Oh, yes, Holloway. Harp guitars. Harp guitars are very difficult things. They're large, and they have these drone strings with this soundboard that comes way over the top that looks like a rhinoceros horn. So what was significant about this? They were cheap, $1,500 for a harp guitar that has these giant bass strings with these sort of piano-type key tuners, and really sounded really well. They had great demo artists there. There was a guy, when I was there was a guy playing Bohemian Rhapsody on harp guitar. So that's hard to do. There's a lot of woodworking there. There's a lot of compound curves to deal with, and I recommend you check out Holloway harp guitars. They're very affordable. And finally, on the amp front, Black Star has a new amp that we were very impressed with. It's got it's in that sort of Marshall kind of Soldano mode, but it's reasonably priced, and we think you're going to see a lot of action on the Black Star amp front. And they also had a new pedal with a 12AX7 on board. So some really cool stuff. Always great to be in Nashville because it's such a sort of a guitar-oriented town. So I got to see as much as I could in one day on Saturday. And with that, I will turn it over to my colleague, Craig Anderton, and he and Paul can talk about some tech stuff and the things they saw. Craig?
All right, did you get a demo of the harp guitar? Yeah, so did I. So we have different things. So Paul, no, I don't think I'm going to buy one. But Paul's criterion for what makes for a successful show is whether you're going to buy anything or not.
Yeah, I've got this kind of levitating credit card thing, and the amount by which it levitates is a measure of how good something is. Most of the levitating came in the guitar section, sadly, because that's what we really lust after. You know how it is. Yeah. But there were some very good things around, especially for, I think, the entry-level high-tech musician. I mean, for example, Samsung have come out with a little pair of desktop-powered monitors, but they've built mic interfaces in them as well, so the thing is a complete package system. Plug them in by a mic and you have a studio. So rather like that. And of course, everyone's got something for the iPhone. So we've got Amplitude for the iPhone, you know. So if you want to sit on the school bus and drive yourself mad with heavy metal, you can do that. And here is the school bus, you can hear it in the background.
I'm right on cue.
Yeah, it's good. And of course, Sonoma Wireworks have got something that's very much like an old-fashioned Porter studio, which they've had the software around for a while, but now they have the little jack plug interface to go with it. And also looked at the Cascade microphones, because we don't see those in Britain very much. I mean, they're made in China, but at least they're quality controlled to some extent. And they've won a lot of awards. They look nice, they've got a good bling factor, lots of models in there, so I'm quite keen to try some of those. But I'm also very keen to try the MXL Revelation mic. We tried the Genesis, you know, they haven't done the Mark, Matthew, Luke and John version yet, they've gone straight to Revelations. But if it's as good as the Genesis, I think that might have the credit card doing the old, you know, levitate thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I of course am looking for the unusual and strange and interesting. A couple things really struck me. You didn't mention the Trevor Wilkinson self-tuning guitar, did you? Yeah, the Trevor Wilkinson does self-tuning and has 6 different presets, well, 5 if you include also the standard tuning. There was a cool little thing called the iTab. And this is basically an electronic songbook that goes on your mic stand, and it gives you notes and chords and MP3s and directions on how to get it to the gig or whatever. I mean, it's one of those really all-purpose kind of Swiss Army knife things. Also, a really interesting MPC competitor called the Beat Thang, which is a hardware controller, works with their virtual software, but also self-contained, and it's a great little MPC-style beat maker thing, fantastic sound library. That's where a lot of these things fall down. You know, it's like they have the your basic acoustic set and some Phil Collins gated toms, and they hope that you'll be happy with that. But this has some really innovative things along with guitars, basses, strings, stuff like that. EH Electro Harmonics, the freeze pedal. Did you see that?
I didn't.
You have to see that.
That's my tomorrow's list, but they've always got weird and great
stuff. The freeze pedal, you hit a foot switch and it holds whatever you're playing. So you can like hit a chord, hold it, play on top of it, hit another chord, freeze that, play on top of it. And they also have a new Big Muff with germanium, new old stock pre-CBS germanium transistors, which was pretty cool. Some of the artist stuff, Ben Lacey playing at the Warwick booth, he wasn't even playing a Warwick guitar, but they just like him because he draws a crowd, and he always draws a crowd. He's great about that. And for the more extreme end of things, we had Tommy Boland at the Beams. And you know the Beams controller that you put your hands through and play stuff? Well, he was using his guitar as the thing to put through the Beams to trigger stuff. So he was essentially jamming with himself. He was playing guitar, and then he would like make the neck go in and make trigger drum sounds and riffs and stuff like that. Or he was throwing the guitar chord in it and triggering things. It was very cool, actually. I enjoyed that, and yes, we do have that. In the more conventional end of things, Casio Previa PK3 stage piano. Stage pianos seem to be a very common thing at NAMM. We talked about that yesterday. Well, here's another one, 800 bucks, 23 pounds. So the Chiropractors League of America has condemned it already. But aside from that, it looks really promising. Also, I really like the V-strap. It's a strap that distributes weight over both shoulders, and if you lean down to adjust an effects pedal, your guitar does not fall off, which is kind of nice. And then last, certainly not least, and one of the more bizarre but interesting things at the show comes from your very own country, the Orange PC. Yes. The Orange PC looks like a little combo amp, tiny combo amp, has a PC built in with Windows 7, expansion port, software, USB connectors on the back, the whole 9 yards. It's an interface, it's got tone controls. I mean, it's a truly, imagine if interfaces had not turned into having guitar inputs, but guitar inputs turned into having interfaces, and you would have the Orange PC. And it's not that expensive, and you know, it's one of those products that some people are going to look at that and go, I have to have that. That is so cool. I've been looking for that all my life. And there are other people who are going to look at it and they're going to scratch their heads and just turn around in utter puzzlement. But aside from that, I mean, it's a very interesting concept. So that was it for me for the show. And it was I thought it was another fun day, another fun show. So what if the biggies aren't here? It's a giant Hawley and we're having a great time.